like I said, like right now, with him being the way he is, we're only supposed to detain them and bring them if he's an imminent threat, great bodily harm or death to himself or others.
But I don't understand. I don't understand that though, because I've been told, like, even when he made the shank, he didn't meet criteria. Even when he was on top of his brother trying to snap his neck, he didn't meet criteria. Yeah. So like, what is it going to take?
I don't understand that either. That's what I'm saying. If he had a shank today, it would be a whole different story in my opinion. That's like a no-brainer to me.
Well, even attacking us, you know, like.
Yeah, I get. Well, this is where it is. Is that I know to you it's pretty obviously it's a big deal. He's throwing punches at you and whatever.
Yeah.
But from what we see, that's not great bodily harm or death or imminent. You know, that's an 11-year-old getting crazy. I mean, we deal with it every day,
right.
Unfortunately. So that is where I have a problem where they're recommending least resistance, which would be going home either with you or with.
Well, he already said that he's not willing to.
Whatever. That's where I have a problem. If it would have been like he had a shiv or whatever, I could say no. I'm not gonna go. I'm going against the least resistive. I'm just taking him, but I can't do that in this situation
right.
The thing that I just don't understand is that he repeatedly goes after Malachi and his mom.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that doesn't result to a threat to others when he always does it.
Well, what I'm saying is that a threat to others. For us to do it, it's a threat of great bodily harm or death.
But even when it was that, when nothing was done.
Well, that's what I can't.
I know it's not your fault. I know it's not your fault.
I'm not yelling at you or anything. I'm just trying to understand.
No, I get it. Everybody's frustrated. I'm frustrated, and even my kid.
Right.
But I can't explain why the kid. That one I really cannot explain why he didn't get.
Right.
Mentally detained at that time and brought somewhere.
Well, because they said he calmed down and he was fine to go home.
Yeah, but
you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you on that one. But
right.
that one, in my opinion, a little bit of it.
So am I just supposed to call you guys every time he's going after us?
Unfortunately, you're gonna have to, and hopefully, I mean, like I said, if he doesn't calm down and he's still saying I'm gonna kill him, I'm gonna whatever. We can't get him calmed down, and let's just say he does something more like, God forbid, but he grabs a knife or something, and that, in my opinion, then if it was my incident and I handled it and I'm the officer, I am telling human services and my supervisor and whoever else I gotta tell that I don't care what anybody says, the kid had a knife in his hand and he was threatening, that's death, great bodily harm,
right.
Evidently, okay? But with what I have, the details that I have in my specific incident today, I can't go against and say, no, he was throwing punches at my, which, yeah, I get it. I wouldn't want to be you,
right.
Like you're.
No, it just puts me in a spot because I can't.
My 11-year-old throws punches at me, he's going to the ground immediately, and I'm going to take care of it. You can't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because just physically, probably.
Physically, and then with CPS and all these people in my life telling me all these things that I can't do. Right. I'm at risk of losing my other children if I do any of the list of things. But then it's like, what can I do? Because I can't lock him in his room.
Your son that is not going to work because that's going to escalate him.
Yeah.
Whereas my son just different. If I did that, if he did that to me, I'd take care of it and it would be over with because
right.
I just know he knows me and I know him and whatever. You don't have that situation.
No.
So I don't know what to tell you. I'm not an expert. I just do what the statute says.
Right.
So as of right now, like if you're willing to take him, that's probably the best bet. If this Christina, they said that
she's at work. She only does weekends.
Okay, because he apparently likes Christina.
Oh yeah, because Christina does all these fun things, so he gets to be a little asshole at home, and then go take trips to Michigan and go fishing and all the things. Like cool story. Like cool, I'm glad she's there, but like. Yeah. It's almost like he gets rewarded for the bad behavior because all I get told from everybody is you just basically tiptoe around him, don't address the issues, just ignore the bad behavior, just lock myself in the room and let him trash the house basically.
And remember what we talked about as far as society?
Yep.
That's how society is went.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I agree with you. Like we do this all the time. This is what we're doing kind of right now. Like, we're going to reward you and let you go to the respite because you were kind of a jackass or whatever, right? but that's just how the system is, right? I don't know what to tell you, like,
I mean,
that's
it's just-
literally, we do that all day long, they do that at the schools, they do that, that's how it is. And that's-
Right.
In my opinion, that's why we're in the mess that we're in with these kids.
Yeah, literally.
Well, we're not gonna.
Back in the day, I'll
we're
tell
not
you what,
changing
I
it
was
right now.
afraid.
Yeah.
If I knew the police were getting called, I knew I
Correct.
fucked
Yep,
up.
or your teachers could lay hands on you.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
It was completely different, just society has went a different way, so, I don't know, we're not gonna change it today.
Right.
I wish we could, but we're not.
Right.
The best case scenario right now is are you willing to take him and see how it goes, and then just call us if he starts getting out of hand? Otherwise, we're gonna have to call different.
We'll take him for respite or take him to Rogers.
Well, I don't know I don't know as far as the voluntary, if he wants to take him to Rogers, great, you know, if he wants to
Right.
drive him down to absolutely.
I can't.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now.
That's
if he
the whole
knows
thing,
he's
is it's a
going
risk.
there, he's not gonna let me drive.
Okay, so they were just talking about him going and staying at your place for the time being.
Yeah, he already said definitely not.
Okay, so then he's gonna have to either go home with you or a different respite person.
Right.
So do we have a?
Well,
different
he's gonna have to come home with me, and I'll be calling you guys in another hour or so if he starts acting up again.
I agree, that's all we can do, I'm not
I
disagreeing
mean,
with you, I'm not, I would never, you have to call.
Right.
You know, so,
For me, the crazy thing is, like, how he couldn't get approved was when he taped the camera and he made a shank. How does that not meet your criteria? You know?
I already told you,
I don't know.
I have no clue on that, I don't know, but the problem that I have is, I can't go on past events because if I could, it would be like, why is this officer basing his, detention on something that happened a week ago when other officers deemed it a week ago that it wasn't even to the criteria? How is it now imminent a week later? You know what I mean?
Well, and then I kind of talked to the officer last night because she was like, yeah, like I definitely think he needs to get help, you know, blah blah blah. And she explains to me that like at 11:30 last night, I could have, you know, tried to take him to the hospital 11:30, you know, last night, but that they weren't going to. And I'm just like, how does he not meet the criteria when he literally choked his brother? Like he literally choked him and threw him into a wall. And then trashed the entire house. Like, how does that not meet your criteria? That is bodily harm to another child.
Do we need those ladies to show up first?
Hold on, but she,
like the ladies that were in
the
here,
DFS people,
that like
but
kind of controlled that ruling. Like, oh, he meets our criteria.
but
That's the only way.
hold on. The officer was
Sorry.
then telling me last night that like, if I made any calls today, the events that happened last night wouldn't count towards any of my calls today. So unless he re-choked Kai, I mean, it just feels like they weren't going to do anything anyways. You know what I mean? And I'm not mad at the police.
You're saying that she said that the events from last night wouldn't count
for today,
Yeah.
for
Which
Rogers.
I agree with it. And that's what I'm trying to say.
Even though it's kind of escalated into,
Yeah,
you know.
the problem is that when we do things, it has to be imminent, and it has to be and that's where it gets hung up on, is where if they didn't deem it was imminent a week ago or last night, I can't deem that it's imminent
right now, even with the
I have to go
additional
on the act
information.
that he did when I got called there.
Right, right.
That's what I have to deal with. So I don't know. The one with the shank, I don't know. That one seems weird to me too. You know what I
Right.
mean? The choking thing from last night, I don't know. You know, it just depends on the situation. Like, I guess I didn't, like, was there deep bruising to his neck?
No.
Yeah, and that's, so like, choking can mean a lot of different things. I've done, like I've talked to a lot of people that claim they've been choked. I'm not saying that he didn't choke your son, but like, choking somebody to different people means all kinds of different things. So, I mean, if you would've choked him out to unconsciousness or whatever, and he had marks, well then, I can't imagine why he wouldn't get
Right.
chaptered. But if he just had his hand on his throat as they're fighting or whatever, and it got put, I don't know, you know what I mean? And talking to him a little bit, I don't know if what he's telling me is true or not, but, you know, according to him, to Peyton, he says, you know, oh, my brother didn't let me sleep, he was flicking the lights on and off throughout
No.
the night, and whatever.
I have videos of all of it.
Okay, I'm just saying what he told me.
Yeah,
You
I know.
And if what he told me was true, was accurate, then I'd have to believe, like, well, hell, the older brother's
Mhm.
kind of being a dick to him, and now they're
Yeah.
fighting kind of normal brotherly stuff, like, whatever.
Right.
You're saying that's not true.
No.
It doesn't do anything to Antagonise.
No, so as a matter of fact, Respite was upstairs for a majority of last night when all of this was happening, and Malachi was locked in his room the whole time. Like, there was no verbal
Okay.
anything, so it was,
What about after, though?
what do you mean?
Like, throughout the evening? Like,
After both police calls were over?
Correct, yeah.
After both police calls were over, he was asleep.
Oh, he was, okay.
After they left
But
the
he-
second
He
time.
still
Because
went
he
to
was
sleep with
claiming-
all that rage in him and
Yeah,
everything.
he was claiming that after everything was all
Mm-mm.
settled, his brother's in there flipping the lights on and off, trying to instigate it.
Right. No. No, by the time, because the cop came upstairs and he helped me put another lock on the door upstairs,
Okay,
and he slept through that, and when they left, he did not wake up last night again after that.
okay,
And I know, because I was up until like 3 o'clock in the morning, so.
alright. Alright, well,
I wish we could call you
what
every
would be
time.
nice
he
would
calls.
be, this is what would be nice, is you think, in my opinion, from what I've talked to you, is that he needs a different medication or.
Yeah, he
dosage
needs
or
some
whatever.
kind, he needs some kind of mental
So
help.
maybe, I don't know why, my question is, why does he have to be mentally detained and brought somewhere to?
Because he won't
to get a
participate.
prescription?
Because he
change?
won't participate.
But-
That's the biggest issue, is he will not talk to the psychotherapist, he will not engage with them, he will not answer their questions, he, just
Does he take the medication when he's prescribed it? Okay. See, and
Hit
that's
and
the other
miss,
problem you
too.
have, is that nobody is going to, no matter if he's on court order or not, nobody's gonna force him to take his medicine.
Right.
It's just the way society is.
Right.
You know, 25 years ago, they'd probably frickin' shove a
Oh yeah,
fork in his mouth.
oh yeah,
And make him swallow, they don't do that anymore.
No.
So you're really, like, even if he does get prescribed different meds.
so what are my options for getting him out of my home?
that's-
without losing my other
I have
children.
no clue how to even tell you how to do it. That's something you have to talk to human services about.
Right,
I get what you're saying, I mean, you gotta protect the other
yeah,
two or
like there's
whatever.
no life for my other children.
But how you do that, I wouldn't even, if I told you something, it might be completely.
When I told them, I said, it feels like you're pushing me back into a corner. I said that the only way that anybody's gonna actually help me is if either A, he severely hurts or kills one of us, or I beat his fucking ass and then you take my other kids away.
Yeah.
Or I hurt him, because let's be real, I'm at my breaking point right now where like,
Yeah,
I can't take this shit.
I'm sure there's a way to do it, I just don't, it's not gonna be easy, I don't think.
Right.
And it's gonna be a process, and I don't even know where to start with, so like, I would talk to, did you ask them that?
Yeah, they just kind of just sat here quietly
They might
listening.
And
not
then they
know.
left.
They might not know either, I don't know, like, you might have to like talk.
When I've talked to like my CTLS and CS workers, and the only thing they brought up was like a CHIPS order, but in order to get a CHIPS order, there has to be a court order, or to get a court order, there has to be police. Like, I don't know
I
how
would talk
police
to-
and a court order have anything to do, but
No,
like
it
that's kind of
doesn't.
the route that they were telling me that I could go. And there was like an adoption which was brought up, but then, so I don't know if you know his dad, Gary Shea. So a lot of the other cops know him.
Okay.
He does not have custody or rights anymore,
Okay.
because he assaulted him on Christmas, and it was this whole big thing.
Okay.
But dad's like literally like a psycho, like a crazy psycho. And, like even that, they were like, if I were to try to give him up for adoption because dad still has legal rights, he just doesn't have visitation, that he could very well end up with dad. And as much as I can't stand, and as much as like my other kids aren't safe, like sending him to dad's would mean no therapy, no help. You know, dad thinks that any like medical facility, they're gonna put a chip in his head and they're spying on him, and people are out to get him, and just very mentally gone because he's on drugs all the damn time.
I don't think, I mean, not to be rude, but I don't think anybody's gonna wanna adopt him anyways.
Well, yeah,
mean,
I know.
It would be more like he'd have to go to a group home.